In today's lesson, I am discussing with you about the introduction of solar energy. We all know that sun is the main source of solar energy. On this planet, human life and all other form of life are completely depends on the daily flow of solar energy. The production of food and all other life supporting systems of the natural environment are depends on the sun. So the solar energy travels in small particles which is called the photons. Converting even a part of the solar energy at even a very low efficiency can be utilized in the far more energy that can be utilized for power generation. The amount of solar energy is expressed in solar constant. The solar constant is the total energy that fall on a unit area exposed normally to the ray of the sun at the average sun-earth distance. The most accepted value of solar constant is 1.353 kilowatt per meter square. A number of scattering and absorption process in the atmosphere reduce the maximum heat flux reaching the earth's surface to around 1 kilowatt per meter square. The heat flux reaches Earth's surface by two modes. One is the direct mode and next one is the diffuse mode. If it is the only direct heat energy which can be collected through a collector, the ratio of a direct to total heat energy varies from the place to place and depends on the atmospheric condition like dust, smoke, water vapor and other matters. The ratio varies between 0.64 and 0.88 according to the different investigations. Since the altitude of the sun and the length is vary with the reason, different reason, the solar energy receives on the summer day and many times the energy receives on the winter day. As a result, the total energy of most of the area in plain in India around 6000 mj per meter square per year. Now the advantages. There are some advantages of solar energy like it is renewable source of energy. Next advantage, free of cost. Next advantage, non-polluting source of energy. These are also disadvantages are there. That is, the main disadvantage is low efficiency, and next disadvantage, it is of intermittent type of nature, so for night hours the energy is not available, such as storage devices are required to utilize the solar energy. Now there are many types of solar energy utilization systems are. First which is solar photovoltaic effect, that means the solar power generation, and next is the thermal system. Now the solar photovoltaic system. A solar photovoltaic, which is called SPV system, is a field of solar energy utilization by which solar radiation from sunlight is converted into electricity or electrical energy using semiconductor materials like silicon or other semiconductor materials like GaAs, which is called the gallium arsenide. When sunlight in the form of photon falls on these semiconductor materials, electricity is generated. The amount of the generated electricity depends upon some factors like intensity of solar insolation or radiation, size of the solar cell, types of the semiconductor materials, and ambient temperature. From one solar cell, only a fraction of electricity is obtained, which is provided in a considerable amount by connecting these solar cells in series and parallel combinations called photovoltaic module. These modules are again fabricated in series parallel combination to develop the photovoltaic array, which are generally used in solar photovoltaic plants to have tremendous amount of power to supply it for residential and industrial application Generally, 36 solar cells are fabricated in series to make a solar photovoltaic modules. Now, the photovoltaic technology. Photovoltaic or PV technology or solar cells, as they are also called the semiconductor devices, because they convert sunlight into direct current or DC electricity. Group of photovoltaic cells are electrically configured into module and arrays which can be used to charge batteries, operate motors, and power any number of electrical loads. By using the appropriate power conversion equipment, photovoltaic system can produce alternating current. But alternating current can be found by the help of photovoltaic system by using the inverter, because the output of the solar cell is DC. If we connect the DC voltage with the inverter, then the output of the inverter is the AC system and can be operated in parallel with interconnected system or grid system. So these are the main views of main fact of the solar energies. Now the solar power plant. Semiconductor materials such as silicons are used in photovoltaic solar cell. In the cell, incoming photons separate positive and negative charge carriers. This produces the electrical voltage and electrical current and can drive a load. The solar cell can be connected in series and parallel combination incorporated in a module. Several modules may be introduced to a solar array, but large land areas are required for this plant. Solar cell power plants are two types normally: autonomous power plant, which are used for local network, and grid connected power plants used for external electrical network. The elements of photovoltaic power generations are different types. The solar photovoltaic array produced DC power, and this must be converted into AC power for local use and feeding it into the grid. An inverter is convert the DC voltage to AC voltage and feed the solar power to the grid or supply system for the consumers. In case of low power availability from the photovoltaic generation, the local load can be fed from the grid, and the photovoltaic array supplies the current only when the sunlight falls on it. The magnitude of direct current depends upon the intensity of the solar radiations. So these are the basic concept of solar power plant. Now, the solar thermal system. What is solar thermal system? The solar thermal system, the energy is clean, cheap, and the available renewable forms, which has been used since these times. The sun is sustainable source of providing solar energy in form of radiations, visible light and infrared radiations. The solar energy is captured naturally by different surfaces to produce thermal effect or produce the electricity by means of photovoltaic system. Solar energy can be converted into thermal energy by using solar collector. It can be convert the solar energy into the heat. The solar collector surface is designed for high absorption and low emission. The advantages: solar energy is easily available. It is renewable source of energy, and that is also eco-friendly system. So these are the advantages of solar thermal energy solar energy. Now, the storage of solar energy. In order to take care for the solar energy available and fill up the gap between the power demand and the supply of the plant, there is need to energy storage system. A energy storage system store the and collected amount of energy to requirement of the demand and supply of this energy when the demand cross the supply of the energy. The following are the factor on which the optimum capacity of energy storage systems are depends. Like number 1, the expected time dependency of the solar radiation available. Next point, the nature of load to be expected to the process. Next, the degree of reliability required for this process. Next, the size of the solar thermal power system or solar electrical generations. Next point, the cost per kilowatt hour of the storage energy. Next, the environmental and safety concept. So there are some applications of solar thermal energy like solar pond, solar pumping system, solar pond, solar dryer, etc. Solar cooking system. In India, the cooking is the common application of solar energy. Several varieties of solar cookers are available for different requirement, such as box type solar cooker, dish type solar cooker, etc. Now, the solar drying system is also the application of solar heating in a solar thermal system. Drying has been the oldest and most widely used application of solar energy in the developing country. The methods are very simple in system. So, in solar dryer, the ambient air is heated and passed into the drying chamber by natural convection. The hot air removes moisture from the crops and become cooler and fall the bottom of the drying chambers. By this system, different types of products are drying by the help of this system. Now the solar pumping system is also the application of solar energy. Solar pumping utilized for power generated by the solar energy for water pumping system, usually for irrigation. In irrigation purpose, generally the submersible pumps are used. Submersible pumps are designed with different stages which are placed under the underground the water level system, and the solar arrays are placed in the ground by which DC voltage is developed, and the DC voltage is connected with the solar charge controller or pump controller, which convert the which convert the variable DC into a stable DC system. Now inverter convert the DC system into the AC system, and this AC is connected with the pumping system. So these are the main principle of the solar pumping system. Now another different types of applications, solar systems applications are solar greenhouse global warming solar systems are also minimize the greenhouse effect, etc.